For years, in order for short-term rental property managers to grow, they would either have to work harder or they would have to hire a big team. That means that if they want to get to the top 1%, growth ultimately means more headache. But in today's world, AI is changing that. It's not just about using AI to save time or cut down repetitive tasks. We're not talking about the generic tools that could help with writing listing description or with guest messages. Don't get me wrong, these AI tools are useful. They're actually really good. But the problem is they're not enough to drive real growth, because growth doesn't just come from doing tasks faster. It comes from creating a system that also adapt, learn, and drive performance on their own. And that's where AI workflows comes in. So I'm going to try to explain to you what's the difference between AI tools and also AI workflows or AI agents, and why is it a game changer, how you can leverage it. I'm going to discuss all of that in this video. But it is kind of like a new topic for you guys if you haven't really catch up to the AI trends right now. So bear with me, I'm going to try my best to explain everything so that it is digestible and also understandable. Let's get straight into it. So you are probably already aware of what AI software is. For example, Canva. Your PMS is a SaaS. There's also a bunch of different tools being created every single day. And finally, probably our most loved tool, ChatGPT. These are all of the tools that you can use to save time and also finish a certain task. But again, they're just merely there to finish a task. AI workflows, on the other hand, aren't just tools. They are self-learning mini systems. So the way they work is they harmonize multiple tasks, pull in your data, for example, and then they work together to produce a real performance and result, not just outputs. So think of AI agents or workflows as a growth engine. They take your business data, for example, owner's data, guest data, market trends, and then they turn it into insights. After that, they act on those insights and then produce better outcomes consistently. So unlike a one-time tool, AI workflows continuously adapts and also learns as it runs. So the more data that it sees, the more that you use it, the better it gets. This not only means that you are saving time, but you are also creating predictable results, reducing errors and also inconsistencies, and build a system that gets smarter the longer you use it. So let's take a look at this image to understand better how AI agents work. So for example, you as the user, you create an AI agent, which consists of database, LLM, and action. So data, as you know, is the data inside this world that can be scraped from anywhere, from Google, from AI itself, social media. And then there is LLM. LLM is a large language model. It's like a deep learning model that is trained on massive datasets. So it uses datasets to understand, generate, and process the human language. These are usually used in applications like chatbots, language translation, or content generation. And an action is simply the AI agent executing the things that you want them to execute on. From constantly using the AI agent, it will constantly use data to also create a feedback loop, which is why every single time you use it, it kind of like creates a model refinement. It learns from its own processes, and ultimately it creates a whole system that is not only helping you finish a certain task, but it can also execute it in a better way every single time. Now that we have kind of covered the basis of what an AI agent and workflows are, now we're going to talk about how to actually plug it into your business. For years, the top 1% of any industry, whether it's hospitality, e-commerce, or real estate, whatever it is, they had always had their own unique playbook or unique systems. So in the short-term rental space, for example, we have our way, or kind of like our systems on how to generate more leads, how to convert those leads into long-term clients, how to actually deliver an unforgettable guest experience, and then keeping those owners updated and happy. These playbooks aren't just random tactics that are created overnight, but they are proven systems that have been honed over years of testing. Traditionally, you would have to learn these playbooks the hard way, which is through trial and error. It means that it requires years of testing, costly mistakes, and also a lot of guesswork. But now, as you can probably already tell, AI workflows can give you a shortcut to this, if you know how to use it right. AI can let you plug in the top 1% best practices instantly. So then you can extract data from your PMS, for example, from your guest behavior, marketing systems, not just the generic metrics, but the real insights that can drive results. And then you can ask it to make decisions based on what's working today, not what's worked last year. Finally, because it works 24/7, you eliminate the human bottlenecks, so no more slow reporting or repetitive follow-ups that eat up your team's time. Okay, so AI workflows are not just static automations. They're constantly learning and adapting, meaning that they get smarter over time, giving you an edge that used to cost you 10x more money or 10x more time. This is pretty much how you bridge the gap from the average business to the top 1%, not by grinding harder, but by adopting smarter systems that evolve with your business. As you can see in this kind of complicated image, this is roughly how it would look like if you have finished testing it, you have finished creating it. It is quite a lot, but this is why they call it an AI agent, because basically they are your personal agent. They do stuff for you, not just a singular task, but a combination of tasks. They integrate your data, execute multiple steps, and then improve themselves. So it's like having a team of high performers running in the background 24/7. But instead, you're just using these workflows. So let me show you the difference between AI tool and AI workflows in a little bit more detail in an example so that you better understand how powerful AI workflows can be. Firstly, AI tool is, as I've mentioned before, the software that you are using this whole time to finish a certain task for you, but ultimately you're still the one controlling it. So, for example, an AI tool can generate a property description for you. However, with AI workflows, it is a combination of tasks that they can do, and then they turn it into one agent. Kind of like, for example, if you have a photographer, if you have a copywriter, you have a content creator, you combine those people into one and they become a marketing team. That is basically what AI workflows are. They're a combination of different tasks put into one, and if you use it right, they operate and they help you grow, but again, without all of the time investment or expenses that you would have spent if AI wasn't created yet. So for example, AI workflows can analyze your listing, competitors, guest data, and then it creates and tests multiple descriptions. And from there, it keeps optimizing. So it creates, for example, like an A and B test them until they convert better. So there's a lot of different ways that you can create AI workflows. Again, if you know how to bridge the gap between where you are right now to where you want to be, for example, if you want to reach to the top 1% level, then you're going to want to break down each components on how to get there. Now, once you have broken down the exact steps, which I will show after this, you start to automate the things that you can automate, combine it into one workflow, and it becomes an AI agent or workflow for you. So for example, here with AI agents content marketing, for example, it has a lot of components that they can do. They can be a learning agent, they can become a reflex agent, content creation coordination, AI generated output, increased traffic, and so on. Secondly, this is pretty self-explanatory, but AI produces consistent and predictable results. With humans, we get tired, we need to have a break. But when you use AI workflows, they're gonna keep producing the same result or the same high standards every single time if you train it well. They execute the same logic every single time, so there's no missed follow-ups, no bad days for them. There could be some bad days in terms of maybe there's a system that is not working inside the AI workflows. Well, you need to fix that, but the output is gonna become much better than you having to have another human being to do all of the tasks that they're doing. The shortcut to the top 1%. What used to take these successful businesses to get to where they are at right now? They would have to spend years and experience and also a big team in order for them to get there. Testing, refining, iterating, which are now possible to recreate or done better because of the rise of AI. AI workflows also take what works in the top performing property managers and also replicate it automatically. And that is what I mentioned before. If you know the playbook to get to where you want to be, even if you don't know some things, you can use AI to solve that, right? But if you already have the playbook that you need to reach the top 1%, for example, you can just feed in that information to AI and AI will execute it for you. Now, once the AI have automated the things that you still do manually, or kind of like the things that doesn't require your input, then it can free you up to focus on the bigger picture, which is the guest experience. So at this point, you don't need to care about lead tracking, you don't need to care about the messages, the content creation. It is all handled by AI workflows, so you can focus on truly what matters. Because at the end of the day, this business is still a hospitality business. We cannot fully replace this business with AI, unfortunately, or fortunately, because this is the beautiful, unique advantage of short-term rentals. It is still hospitality, meaning that we still need to build human connection one by one. And in a world full of automations and AI, this is our unique advantage here. This industry is not going to die anytime soon because people crave human experience. They want to get out of the virtual world that they are in, and how to escape from that by getting experiences that they couldn't get otherwise during their day-to-day life. Now that we have covered about the importance of AI workflows and why is it like a game changer for today's world, I'm going to give you a couple of examples on how you can use AI workflows for your business. And then after I explain some of these examples, I'm going to actually explain to you how you can start implementing it, or kind of like give you an idea on how this works, like the mechanics of it, how you can put this into life, how you can actually get it to work. So here are the 5 examples of AI workflows that I'm currently prototyping and testing with a few short-term rental property managers. The first one is AI Owner Insight Agent. So these workflows analyze your owner portfolio, revenue trends, gaps in your management performance. From there, it creates clear reports with action plans that you can share with the owners. This will boost your transparency, trust, and also retention with the owners. And then finally, once these workflows are automated, the reports can update in real time and also automatically be sent to the owners. So imagine replacing hours of manual data collection with one automated report that updates in real time. This is what we call an agent. It's not just simply you using one tool to scrape data and then you're using this Canva Pro, for example, to create clear reports, but you're combining all of that actions into one agent so that you kind of can forget about this and focus on the other things that move the needle more. Secondly, AI guest messaging engine. We go beyond basic chatbot here. So this system firstly creates your brand tone, storytelling, messaging, and also competitor analysis. From there, it learns from your past guest interactions and even your competitor's listing, and it can craft the best responses tailored to your brand tone. Finally, it can auto-respond in WhatsApp, email, personalized follow-ups, and also escalate complex questions to you only when needed. So I don't know if you know about this, but there's a lot of AI WhatsApp agent right now all over the place. We're trying to implement this into the short-term mental world. So again, this is beyond chatbot, because sometimes chatbot can sound like a chatbot and the information that it produces aren't really higher level. With WhatsApp, for example, it is more personalized. It sounds more like a human if you train it well. It goes beyond just answering your chats, but it can also, for example, escalate complex questions, do a personalized follow-up, depending on how you plan to use the AI sub-agent. Next, AI content engine. Firstly, you can scrape trends, so what's going viral, what guest cares about from your reviews maybe. Yeah, pulls data from your guest reviews, and then it's best for your target audience. It creates a strategy also if you post on multiple platforms, for example, each for Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, so on. And then it goes on and creates compelling contents. You can ask it to generate not just the captions, not just the content breakdown, but also crafting the actual content creatives. So starting from AI animation to voiceover to creating the content captions and the schedule to post it. Next, AI sales proposal engine. So when you talk to an owner, it's not just about pitching, but actually speaking to what's relevant for them. How you do this is you analyze the owner's property, and this could take up quite some time, but with AI, it is possible to cut down the process. So it will analyze the owner's property, such as the location, size, revenue potential. It will automatically generate custom proposals that speaks to their goal. And you can also even include return of investment projections tailored to each of the owner to show them exactly how partnering with you will pay off. Again, this could really help with gaining trust. So it kind of like creates a pro-level sales deck and also data-driven insights instantly. Well, not instantly, but faster than we could. And then finally, owner lead engine. So instead of relying on slow generic outreach, this AI-powered workflow finds and qualifies high-value owner leads based on your ideal client profile. From then, it scrapes and analyzes data from multiple sources. Then it auto-generates personalized outreach campaigns to warm up these leads and then nurture them across channels. Ultimately, this is like the end game boss. It can hand over to an AI sales agent. So whenever it is after hours, you wanna wind down, your team wanna wind down, nobody wants to work in a desk anymore, but a lead is interested in your offer, then you no longer need to cap your office hours from 9 to 5, for example. You can say something like, you can call us 24/7. We have a personal sales assistant that is awake 24/7. We'll pick your call up and then we can reschedule another serious discovery call for you. So this AI sales agent will basically pick up their call, ask them about a couple of qualifying questions, and then if they are the right fit, it will then schedule another time for them to book a call with your sales team or you yourself, and then you can go on from there. So as you can probably tell, these are not just features, but they are the entire system that handles the task you would normally need a whole team to manage. And this is just the start, because if these workflows are running, yes, it might take some time to adjust and kind of like perfect these systems, but once they undergo that feedback loop relearning phase, they can get better each time, turning your business into a growth machine that's faster, leaner, and also smarter. Now, you might be wondering, this sounds too good to be true. Well, I initially also thought of that. So let me explain to you how you can actually implement or execute one of these AI workflows so that you understand the strategy on how this all can come together. Again, this is not something that I came up with. This is not my imagination, but a lot of people out there, the developers, have nailed this down, creating AI workflows like the example that I showed you here. People actually create this. So let me show you how this could work in real life. For example, let's say we are creating an AI content engine in N8N or Make.com. These two are the tools that can make this happen. Let me show you. This is N8N, this is Make.com. I'm just gonna give you a heads up. I'm not a developer, so I do some research on this, but I am not the one who will implement this. So I'm just gonna give you a heads up. If I say anything wrong in this video, let me know. I'm also still learning here because the world is adapting really fast. I just want to catch up and also share the insights that I know. And yeah, let's get straight into this. So with AI content engine, in order for us to create an actual workflow, we need to understand the components behind it, how to actually create a winning content engine. So you still need to have a little bit of background or like a little bit of understanding on how the end system might work. Because if, for example, you don't really know how to do content, well, you can simply use AI to help you create the AI workflows, but it would be better if you already have an experience on how you would usually do this inside your business, and then you turn that knowledge, that playbook, into the AI workflow. So this is how I would usually go about creating contents, and then I turn this into an AI workflows. Firstly, I would want to analyze guest insight. This could be guest reviews. this could also mean the trends, your social media posts, which one works best. Because if we create content out of nowhere, out of like no previous data, we're just kind of wasting our time, money, and energy because we don't know what's working, we don't know what our target audience wants, and we definitely don't want to make content that we think would work or that we think we like. We want to make contents that our target audience actually like. So in order for us to determine what kind of contents work, we need to analyze our past insights, use real data. Secondly, we create a strategy for us to produce those contents. The way you create a strategy for Instagram and Pinterest and your website blogs won't be the same. So you have to kind of break down exactly what your content strategies are. And then from then on, once you have created like a prompt or guidebook strategy on how to create posts, you can feed those data into AI so that AI can write posts for that specific platform. And then after it has created a draft content post ideas, it will create visuals for you if you want to create a visual post. And then you can feed it into an auto schedule posting software, and then you can post it automatically. And then finally, reiteration, feedback loop. You analyze the end performance and keep tweaking this system until you think it is performing at its best. So firstly, analyze guest insights. I don't know if developers could really automate this because I did a little bit of research and it is quite hard to do an API scrape of the data that are sourced from Airbnb, for example, because they have CAPTCHA, as you know. Usually when you go to a website, they have a CAPTCHA that you need to fill in, so it's a bit hard to scrape those data, and that is why I suggest, like with your past guest insights, it's better for you to just manually search it or kind of like manually compile it, because it also doesn't really take that long for you to compile it. It could take you like only 10 to 15 minutes a week, scraping the best 5 to 10 reviews on Airbnb, for example, and then you paste them into Airtable or Google Sheets. I prefer Airtable because it has a lot more features and you can customize it even further. Secondly, you can also manually track which content are trending, which content are performing best, either trending in the industry or trending as in your own post. Now, for example, if it were your posts that are trending, you can manually put them again into a table. You can write something like winning content strategy, and then you write what's working. Why is that content working? Or if you also want to search trends in the industry as a whole, there's a lot of other AI software tools that can scrape trending posts from all over the world. And for some software tool, you can kind of include this in your AI workflows. But again, it also doesn't really take you long to just list out what's working in the industry and then compile it under a winning content column. Now the fun part, let's start to use the AI workflows. So preferably you feed in this data into an Airtable or like a Google Sheet table. And then in that table, for example, you create a column filled with your best guest reviews, the trending post, and also your brand tone, your brand storytelling. Now from that table, you connect it in the tool, for example, make.com, and then you ask ChatGPT, for example, to scrape those data that are in your table and then ask it to create a draft post. You kind of like write a prompt inside it to create a post for you. You are a brand voice expert. Here's your brand story, voice style, etc., and use this to post like our brand would. That way, from the table that you created, it will automatically create a draft post for you. You can also ask it to immediately fit into the Airtable again. So the final draft post content that it creates, it will then give it back to the Airtable dashboard that you have, so that whenever you want to see the final outcome of the content, you can just look at the Airtable dashboard that you have. And then you can automate it even further by creating visuals from it. So again, there's a lot of tools that you can use for this. You can use Dolly, Canva Pro, really good. You can use those API, and then from the prompts that it creates, you ask it to create visuals. Finally, auto scheduling posting. Now, either you want to automate it or you can do it manually, as in like manually putting the contents into a scheduling software, for example, later, and then that software will post it automatically for you. So you don't always have to combine all of the tasks into one AI workflows, because sometimes it is way easier for you to just do it yourself instead of you having to create the prompts, the connections, and it can get pretty messy. You'd have to reiterate it ever so often. So yeah, it is possible to automate it. It's also possible to do manual alternative, and then you analyze it, feed it back, and yeah, that is pretty much how the content AI engine would work. So all of the tasks that I mentioned here, for example, like communication, owner reporting, repetitive data, tracking, and outreach, even pricing updates, all of those tasks are important, but they are not what drives a memorable stay. And so that is where AI workflows comes in. They automate the repetitive, time-consuming work. They improve the operational pieces that eats up your day. And so this means that it frees up your time and energy to focus on what actually matters in hospitality, creating memorable experiences, building relationships that will lead to 5-star reviews, crafting an emotional stay for the guests, or crafting a memorable service for the owners. Because all this time, we know that in order for us to win in this industry, we have to balance the technicality of the business and also the hospitality. So if you can automate it really well in the technicality side, and you also can really be successful or nail down the hospitality side in terms of creating experiences, feeling, branding, all of those stuff, imagine where that could take you. Just imagine how fast you can grow. Just imagine how successful your business can be, how meaningful it could be. Scaling even further also means that you can reach more people. You can transform more people's life. AI workflows are not just helping you to grow faster, but it also can elevate the guest experiences on itself. As I've mentioned before, I spent quite a few months to study and also map out exactly how these AI workflows can transform property managers who manages 20, 50, or even 100 more listings. And in conclusion, my belief is that growth shouldn't require more staff or more overwhelm. However, it should come from leveraging on what already works in past businesses or even your business, and then doubling down on that. I've also heard a conversation of a billionaire some time ago, and he explained this beautifully. The most successful businesses become successful not because they fix a lot of problems. That's one of the case, but the more leveraged way that they could grow their business is by doubling down on what works, doubling down on what makes them great. As simple as that. Problems are inevitable. Like, you're ultimately gonna face more problems than ever as you grow, as you scale. But you have to also remember that you need to prioritize doubling down and doing what's actually already working. Some things are working for a reason. And so what if you just focus your energy towards creating more impact on the things that are already working instead of just fixing the things that you think is a problem but are not really driving more growth? This is where AI comes in. AI will be the one who will be fixing those things or who will be doing the repetitive tasks. You will be the one focusing on what works best for your business and then growing it even further. I want to share this so that we can build the future of property management together, because growth doesn't come from more hustle, it comes from smarter system, and you can easily reach freedom if you have the conviction that you can get there, because in reality, you can. So before I end this video off, I want to be clear and transparent on how I plan to do this AI rollout. Here's how I'm approaching it. I could only show you some charts here because I want to validate it in a real property manager's business first before I share the whole workflow, the whole playbook on how you can utilize this. Therefore, I'm looking for property managers to collaborate with me as I validate these workflows that could truly move the needle for you day by day. I'm not promising that I'm going to give you all of these workflows in a switch from day one, but instead, how I would approach this is I will start by fixing your core business first, the systems, the strategies, like streamlining your operations, boosting your owner acquisition, removing friction from your business first, and then as we see what's working and what's not inside your business, then I'll slowly layer in these AI workflows to automate what's already proven. So it's not AI for the sake of automation, but AI for the sake of growth. If you are one of the property managers who are interested in getting all of these AI workflows, if we end up working together, firstly, I would start by cleaning up your business and actually double down on what's already working in order for you to grow your business. And as we identify and create those proven playbooks for you, we will begin to build these AI workflows that plug into your business specifically. So again, different from AI tools that could be used for anyone, these AI workflows are personalized for your business. And as a bonus for the property managers who ended up working with me in order for us to create this into a reality, I would give all of the final result of the AI workflows that we have honed for you. We will implement it to your business as a bonus. This is a collaborative process. I want to actually create a system that works and that could transform this industry. And so your insights and feedbacks will directly shape how these AI systems will evolve. This way, you'll be a part of the first wave, getting real access and also real world results. Again, these workflows that I built is not a cookie cutter tool. It will reflect on your unique challenges and goals, and we will build on from there. Finally, it puts you ahead of the competition by leveraging AI where it actually matters. If all of this resonates with you and you want to be a part of this journey, I'm looking forward to collaborate with you. You can send me a message on my Instagram or email. I will link all of that in the description of this video. Or you can also book a call with me and we can immediately discuss how this could look like for your business. Thanks again for tuning in this video. I don't normally have this special request, but I really want to transform this short-term rental industry. And so I create this video with the intention of that. Hope this video is helpful for you either way, and I'll see you in my next one.